How many processor cores do you need these days for photography? Watch this video for my quick take on Apple's new MacBook Pro M1 Max 14-inch. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Scott Lawrence, your Detroit-based portrait and headshot photographer. For more headshot tips and tricks and the occasional gear review like this one, be sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you'll be notified when new videos are released. As a full-time portrait photographer, I spend my days in Lightroom and Photoshop. I make these videos with Final Cut Pro. I do a few Zoom meetings, but not enough to have bothered with a fancy setup. That's really the extent of my workflow. Nothing fancy, nothing too extreme. I capture images, I upload them via the built-in SD card reader, which is pretty nice to have now. I edit the raw files, I export JPEGs for client review, and then I do some retouching and prepare the images for digital use and sometimes prints. So how does the machine handle the workflow? There's no doubt, these M1 chips are fast. The system clearly has a lot more headroom, but it's clear that Adobe has some work to do. I pay about $60 a month for the full Adobe Creative Cloud suite of applications, and Photoshop and Lightroom still aren't perfectly optimized for the M1 chips. There are features that just don't work in the Apple Silicon version of Photoshop, so you actually have to reboot into the legacy version, which is a little confusing to do at best. And neither version of the apps make full use of the multi-core functionality in the machines. The only task that I've found so far that really fires up the fans are importing and exporting lots of images from my Canon R5. Now these are 45 megapixel images, but Final Cut doesn't break a sweat for what I do, so exporting still RAW files? I also noticed that my ProGrade CF Express card reader really seems to heat up the cards when it's connected to the machine. Anybody know why this happens? I've never had this problem with XQD cards with Nikon files. I don't know. Anybody got any ideas? I opted for the 14-inch model, which is a little smaller than my previous 16-inch model. But I think it was the right call. I do travel with my laptop. It makes daily trips with me back and forth to my studio and some occasional flying. I think that if you carry around the laptop anywhere, even if it's from your basement to your living room, you're gonna notice the heft of the 16-inch. At my desk, I connect to external displays, so it's really the best of both worlds. I save a little weight off my back, but can still enjoy the large displays. I'd also note that the Apple displays are optimized for video, not still photography. The software does have some different display modes. As the video technology improves, it's more and more important to understand kind of where and how your media will be displayed. The machine is, of course, quiet and comfortable to use on the couch. My Intel MacBook, well, that was basically a heated blanket, and there are cozier options for heated blankets. The speakers sound amazing, of course, for the size, and the FaceTime camera is much improved. I love the new MagSafe power and the flexibility to use a USB-C cord as well. It's nice to see the HDMI port in there too. It's not a big deal, but it does add some additional flexibility. For example, now I can quickly connect my computer to the big TV that I have in my studio. This is great for client proofing. Battery life is of course great. I opted for the M1 Max, but probably would have been just fine with the stock M1 Pro. Either way, I can confidently travel to a location job, shoot tethered, and don't have to worry about bringing a power cord. The laptop will be more than fine, tethered for a few hours. This is a huge win. I just wish I could say the same thing for the cameras. Shooting tethered is always a big battery drain on mirrorless cameras, regardless of the brand. Laptops have come a long way in the last few years. No longer do you really need to make any sacrifices to have a powerful portable machine. The connectivity is solid, the footprint is slimmed down, power and battery life is ramped up. What's not to love? I just wish Adobe would step up the pace of their software development. Current powerful laptops shouldn't be taxed for processing raw image files. I also love the huge SSD options available on the build-to-order Macs. Now, definitely keep your backups current, but for the price, you can't get the same performance from an external drive. The additional storage space also allows me to keep the vast majority of my current client working files with me at all times. And this is just super convenient. I don't have to worry about connecting to external drives or Dropbox or being on the internet. Everything is there at my fingertips. The machine just works. It's lighter and more powerful, and it helps me run my business more efficiently. For these reasons, I think the cost is more than justifiable. If you're a content creator or photographer or video editor, I'd highly recommend these machines for you as well. What are your upgrade plans? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. See you soon.